So now we have to start the execution or the running of the project, and before doing that, let's summarize through the entire code.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
Okay, so over here on the first line we have declared the doctype HTML tag, which tells the browser that this is an HTML5 project. Then we have the HTML tag, then we have the head tag, and then we are declaring a title which will be displayed on the tab of the browser. Then we are getting the minified TensorFlow file by using a content delivery network or a CDN called JSDeliver. Then we are declaring a JavaScript script tag. Then we have created an asynchronous function so that the page is not loading until this function is executed, and that is the main reason why we have created it asynchronous. Then we have declared some constant which are training steps, number of epochs, and then we have declared the model. And now inside the model we have added two different layers of neurons, and the first layer is basically a hidden layer, and then we have the second layer which is the output layer, and then we have the learning rate. And after the learning rate we have used a loss value, so we have mean squared error over here. Then we have the optimizer value, which is the Adam optimizer, and we have passed in the learning rate parameter. And then we are basically adding all of these things to our model by adding in the loss and the optimizer value. And then we have to use the tensor 2D to create a two-dimensional vector or a two-dimensional tensor. And we have created the input data, which are the inputs of the XOR gate, which are 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. And then we have used the general XOR equation, which is for odd number of high inputs or inputs which are 1, we have a corresponding high output or a 1 output. So over here we have 0 1 1 0, which is the output which is expected from these training data. And then we have declared a for loop which runs until the number of training steps. And then we have temporarily created a variable called as h, and then h is basically equal to an await function, and inside this await function we have model.fit, and model.fit basically starts the training process, and we have the training data, then we have the target data, and then we have passed in the epochs, and then we have basically console.log the output or the loss after each and every training epoch. And then we are predicting the output value based on the input value. So over here we can also pass in a number, and we in fact should pass in a number which is not inside our training data, because that simply tells us that the model has not just memorized the training data but has also created a generalized output based on that particular training data. And then after the function closes, after the start training function closes, we are calling the start training function so that we are using it in an asynchronous style. So now with this, let's save the file, and over here let's go to the location where we have the file saved, and now let's drag in this file onto Google Chrome. Okay, so we have XOR gate over here and we are not seeing anything, and that is because we don't have the JavaScript console opened. So over here let's right click, let's click on inspect, and over here let's get into the console. And over here we have an uncaught syntax error, which is invalid shorthand property initializer, and this is on the 12th line of the HTML. So let's look at it. Okay, so over here we have a model which is tf.sequential, and then we have model.add, and inside model.add we have tf.layers.dense, and inside tf.layer.dense we are basically passing in units, and then we have the activation, and then we have the input shape, and inside input shape we have used the equal to sign over here, and instead we should be using in the colon sign over here, because we are assigning key values pair to JSON objects. Okay, so let's save this and let's refresh the browser, and over here okay, so we have the model running perfectly over here, as we are seeing in the losses after each and every epoch. So, and now as you can see, the losses are basically decreasing, so the distance from the expected output is basically decreasing, and this is a good sign for your model, as we can say that the optimizer and the training function are basically working well on reducing the learning value. And now from the next lecture onwards, we'll be going into the finer details of what each and every optimizers and loss value basically are by looking at the mathematics, and then we'll be working them out on a sample of this particular data to basically see how they affect the accuracy. Okay, so with this, congratulations, you have a working project